You ever notice this? You walk into the store for milk, eggs, maybe bread. That's it. 3 things. Simple, cheap, normal. And then, somehow, you walk out with a $200 receipt, 2 limited-time offers, 3 family-sized snacks, a suspicious amount of sparkling water, and some frozen mango chunks you did not plan to buy. And the crazy part? You tell yourself you did a good job. You say, hey, I saved money, stuff was on sale. No, you didn't. You made a middle-class mistake. You got played because the sale sign in the grocery store is usually not there to save you money. It is there to make you spend more money while feeling smart about it. That's the trick. That's the scam. That's the psychological warfare. The store is not rewarding discipline. The store is monetizing your impulses. And if you don't understand the math, if you don't understand the psychology, you will keep doing what millions of middle-class shoppers do every single week, confusing spending less per item with spending less overall. Those are not the same thing. Not even close. This is why people earning decent money still feel broke. Not because they're stupid, because they're getting hit by tiny leaks, tiny little deals, tiny little savings, tiny little red signs. And together, they destroy the gap between your income and your expenses. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how grocery stores use sale signs to make you spend 30% more, why your brain keeps falling for it, and how to take that money back and put it into your shadow portfolio instead. Because real wealth is not built by winning at coupons. Real wealth is built by refusing to get manipulated in aisle 7. Let's get into it. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Your emotions versus your money. That's the fight. Every time you shop. And most people lose before they even touch the cart. Because your brain is broke. Now, I don't mean you're dumb. I mean your brain is running outdated survival software in a modern retail casino. The store knows this. That's why the signs are red. That's why the font is huge. That's why the sale tag screams at you like it's an emergency. Red grabs your attention. It creates urgency. It tells your lizard brain, important, act now, don't miss it. So before your rational brain can ask, do I even need this? Your emotional brain is already whispering, ooh, deal. That little rush, that's the trap. You're not buying groceries anymore. You're buying the feeling of winning. And once that happens, logic gets shoved into the trunk. Now let's talk about one of the dirtiest tricks in retail, the anchoring effect. Here's how it works. The store shows you original price, $10, sale price, $7. And now your brain goes, nice, I saved $3. No, maybe you didn't. Maybe you just got anchored to the first number. That original $10 becomes the reference point in your head. Now everything is judged against it. So $7 feels cheap, even if $7 is still a terrible price, even if the normal competitive price somewhere else is $6, even if the product costs the company a fraction of that to make. On screen, anchor $10 versus reality, $7 can still be overpriced. That's why I keep telling people a discount is not automatically a deal. A marked-down ripoff is still a ripoff, and this is where people get emotionally robbed. You think you won $3, but the store got you to spend $7 you never planned to spend. So who really won? Exactly. He's robbing you. Pop-up text, he's robbing you. Not with a ski mask, with a shelf tag. And the worst part? You'll defend it. You'll say, but it was on sale. Listen carefully. If you buy something you didn't need at a price you didn't verify because a red sign made you feel urgency, that is not savings. That is an expensive emotional event. Now let's get into the part nobody wants to hear. The math is brutal, and math does not care about your feelings. Let's say you go into the store for pasta sauce. You need 1 jar, just 1. Then you see this, 10 for $10, limit 10 per customer, and suddenly your brain does something ridiculous. It stops thinking in terms of need and starts thinking in terms of opportunity. Now you're not asking, do I need one jar? Now you're asking, should I stock up? That's a completely different question, and it is exactly the question the store wants you to ask. Let's break it down. Scenario A, logical you. You needed one jar. You buy one jar for $1. You spend $1. Scenario B, sale sign you. You needed one jar, but you buy 6 jars because, hey, it's a deal. You spend $6. Did you save money? No. You spent 500% more than your original mission. And people do this all over the store. Not once, over and over. Yogurt, soup, granola bars, soda, frozen meals, snack packs, cereal. Each one feels small, but let's stack the damage. You go in with a planned grocery budget of $120 a month. Then you get hit with deals and add $6 extra pasta sauce, $8 extra yogurt, $12 extra drinks, $10 extra snacks, $7 extra frozen stuff, $9 extra pantry items, $4 random bakery special. That's $56 extra. Your grocery bill just went from $120 to $176. That's not cute. That's not savvy. That's a 46.7% increase caused by saving. And even if your impulse damage is smaller, say $36 on a $120 trip, that's still 30%. That's where the title comes from. Not magic, just accumulation, just retail psychology weaponized against weak math. Now let's talk about the phrase, limit 10 per customer. That line is brilliant because it creates scarcity and permission at the same time. Scarcity says, this is valuable, there's a limit. Permission says, you are allowed to buy a lot. So even if you only needed one, buying 5 suddenly feels normal. It feels rational. It feels responsible, like you're planning ahead. Sometimes you are. Most of the time, you're just dragging future consumption into the present and inflating your bill. And let me say something people hate hearing. Stocking up is only a win if all 3 of these are true. You were going to buy it anyway, you can actually use it before it expires, and the unit price is genuinely better. Miss one of those? You are not stockpiling. You are prepaying for clutter. And here's the twist most shoppers don't even know. In many stores, you actually don't need to buy all 10 to get the per item sale price on a 10 for $10 promo. Reports on grocery pricing tactics have shown that shoppers often buy the full advertised quantity anyway, because the wording nudges them to think bigger, not smarter. NBC News. That's how powerful suggestion is. The sign doesn't just communicate price, it shapes behavior, and once behavior changes, the receipt gets ugly. Now let's move to my favorite framework, because the store shows you one thing, reality shows you another. Store, reality. Big yellow sign, huge font, value pack, family size, bonus size, more for less. Visual, giant screaming yellow label with confetti explosions. True reality, what matters is the unit price. Price per ounce, price per pound, price per gram, price per count. That tiny number on the shelf tag is the truth serum. That's where the lies go to die. Let me show you. You're looking at peanut butter. Option A, small jar on sale for $4.20, 16 ounces. Option B, value pack for $7.49, 26 ounces. At first glance, the big one looks smarter because that's how it's framed. More product, bigger sign, value pack, feels efficient. But now we do the math. Option A, $4.20 divided by 16 equals 26.25 cents per ounce. Option B, $7.49 divided by 26 equals 28.8 cents per ounce. So the so-called value pack is actually more expensive per ounce. This is not rare. This happens constantly. Why?
Because shoppers are looking at sticker price, not comparison price. They're looking at the billboard, not the invoice. And that's why I'm going to say something that sounds harsh, but you need to hear it. Stop being cheap. And I don't mean spend more. I mean stop chasing the appearance of savings. Cheap people chase labels. Smart people chase math. Cheap people get hypnotized by words like bonus, value, club deal, buy more, save more. Wealthy-minded people ask one boring question: what is the unit price? That's it. That question alone can save you from a shocking amount of nonsense. Official consumer guidance on unit pricing says it's one of the best tools for comparing value across brands and package sizes, especially when package downsizing and misleading size cues are involved. NIST. In plain English, the shelf tag's tiny math matters more than the
giant sale sign. Every time. And once you train yourself to look there first, the spell breaks. You start seeing the store like a casino. Bright lights, engineered urgency, behavioral traps. Same game, different carpeting. So what do you do with all this? Simple. Mind the gap. Your financial life changes when the gap between what you earn and what you spend gets wider. That gap is everything. That gap is breathing room. That gap is optionality. That gap is power. And grocery stores are constantly trying to shrink it using tiny emotional decisions that feel harmless. Let's say your household grocery budget is $800 a month. If accidental spending from sales sign manipulation is adding even 30%, that's $240 a month. Not per year, per month. That's $2,880 a year. Now ask yourself, what if you stopped donating that money to aisle psychology? What if you redirected it? What if every month, instead of financing your pantry ego, you put that money into your shadow portfolio? That's where the game changes. Because the point is not just to save money. The point is to redeploy money. There's a difference. Saving without investing is just delayed consumption. Saving and investing, that is identity change. That is system change. That is how you activate the snowball effect. Your extra $240 a month starts buying assets. Those assets start compounding. Compounding starts doing what no coupon ever could, making your money work while you sleep. And that is the real flex, not finding cereal for 40 cents less. Owning assets that one day pay for the cereal forever. That is wealth without burnout. Not clipping more deals, not chasing more promos, not spending your Saturday decoding fake urgency tags under fluorescent lights. Freedom. Real freedom. The kind where your grocery bill stops being a monthly psychological ambush because your financial system is stronger than the store's tricks. So here's the rule from now on. When you see a sale sign, do not ask, how much am I saving? Ask, was this on my list? Do I need this quantity? What's the unit price? If I don't buy this, can I invest the difference? That last question, that one is lethal because it forces every fake deal to compete with your future, and most fake deals lose badly. So the next time you walk into a grocery store, I want you to remember this. The sale sign is not your friend. It is a test of math, a test of discipline, a test of whether you're building wealth or performing thrift theater. Stop falling for it. Stop confusing stimulation with savings. Stop giving your money to red signs and yellow stickers. And start redirecting that cash into the machine that actually changes your life, your shadow portfolio. If this video hit you in the chest a little bit, good. That means you needed it. Subscribe, because on this channel, we do not worship middle-class habits just because they're normal. We expose them, we break them, and we replace them with systems that build freedom. Hit subscribe, and next time you see 10 for $10, smile, read the unit price, buy the one you actually need, and leave the psychological warfare in the aisle where it belongs.